This is eastern Simi Valley. You can see the 118 freeway right here as it moves through Simi Valley. Here is the Southern Pacific Railroad tracks as they move through southern Simi Valley and then disappear into the tunnel of the mountains. And here is the Santa Susana Pass. The proposed Colton Lee Development is located in southeastern Simi Valley, in an unincorporated area of Ventura County known as the Santa Susana Knolls, the Knolls for short. Just across the tracks from the city of Simi. This is the city of Simi, this is the Knolls. At the intersection of the Southern Pacific Railroad tracks and Katherine Rd. Let's zoom closer for a better view. This is the area of the proposed development. It is bounded on the north by the Southern Pacific Railroad tracks, which are located right here, this gray area. It is bound on the west and the south by private property, and on the east by Katherine Rd. Based on this topography, the only viable exit from the proposed development must be located on Katherine Rd. Several years ago, Colton Lee acknowledged as much by building a standalone gate for the proposed development fronting Katherine Rd. Let's go down to the street level and take a better look. We are now looking at the gate from the perspective of the middle of Katherine Rd. Turning to the south, we can see Katherine Rd going directly towards the mountain and the foothills as it begins its meandering route along the foothills of these mountains. Let's take a moment to take a quick bird's eye view of Katherine as it winds through the knoll. This is a bird's eye view of some of the knolls, and we're going to use it to follow Katherine Rd as it meanders through the neighborhood. We're going to start here at the intersection of Katherine Rd and the Southern Pacific Railroad tracks. From here, the road goes south. We're going to pass the Colton Lee Development gate. We're going to go about 200 feet, less than that, and make a right turn onto this little spigot of road that Katherine Rd shares with Oak Knolls Road. And after about 50 feet or so, we're going to turn left and continue taking Katherine Rd south until again it turns to the left in a 90-degree turn. All this section we just went through, all the homes and property lines come right up to the edge of the road. At this point, we enter a section of Katherine Rd that is the straightest. Again, almost all the homes, all the property lines, all the structures, all the parking places along this section come right up to the edge of the road. After this straight section, Katherine Rd begins to go uphill and go into a S-curve that is actually a blind curve up here at the top of the hill. It's actually kind of dangerous. And as I adjust the map a little bit so we can follow it better, we're up at the top of the hill in the S-curve, the blind curve, and then it goes downhill a little bit, and then it goes back uphill, and then downhill again. There's along this stretch, there's some ornamental decorations and property gates and foundations and stuff here that are very close to the road, if not on the edge of the road. After it clears the height of the hill, the Katherine Road heads directly downhill where it reaches its lowest point and makes a 90-degree left turn. Now begins a section of the Katherine that is a series of tight S-curves. In this section of road, nearly all the homes, trees, gardens, yards, parking spots, all of them are either on the road or next to it. So in terms of these properties, they're right on the edge of the road, as well as a number of the oak trees that line that area. It finally reaches this straightaway section here that goes alongside the Santa Susana Park. And although it's straighter, nearly all the oak trees here, and they are all oak trees, are either on the edge of the road or in some cases actually have part of their trunks in the road. So those guys will probably die. And then we come here and we pass the Santa Susana Railroad Depot and Museum, and then we end up on the Pass Road. Here we are back at the gate. Turning to the north, we can see that Katherine Road crosses the Southern Pacific Railroad tracks, and beyond the tracks is the city of Simi. Let's take a look at the bird's eye view to better understand the relationships here. Here we are in the bird's eye view of the Katherine Road and Southern Pacific track intersection. This is Katherine. This is the eastbound Southern Pacific tracks. This is the westbound Southern Pacific tracks. This is the northeast corner of the project site. Every day, at least 30 commuter trains and freight trains cross this point. That averages to one train every 48 minutes. Across the tracks and further north on Katherine, Katherine takes a right turn and heads east. This stretch of road right here sees hundreds of car trips every day by residents going to work or shopping, plus numerous non-residents who use the canyon roads out of the Knolls to commute to and from the San Fernando Valley. That is a lot of cars. So many, in fact, that they have worn away the street markings at this intersection in less than 2 years. Let's go down to the street and take a closer look. We are now at street level view of Katherine Road looking south. In the distance, we can barely see the railroad tracks, and beyond that, the Knolls. On the left side is the northbound lane of Katherine Road, and you can see that there has been so much traffic here that it has worn away the white crosswalk markings in less than 2 years. The wear on the right side is of similar extent. If we turn a little bit to the left, we can see that Katherine Road goes off to the east, and you notice that these markings here on the right side have also been worn away to the pavement. And the left turn lane here off of Katherine onto Katherine has also experienced a great deal of heavy wear because of the amount of traffic going in and out of the Knolls. More importantly, in September of 2005, the Topanga fire started on the San Fernando Valley side of the pass, in this general area, just over the pass. In a few hours, the fire burned along these mountainsides, paralleling the eastern extension of Katherine Road we saw earlier. Every fire that starts in a similar place always takes this route because the prevailing winds and the terrain make it do so. This is an important thing to remember. We are back at the Colton Lee Development gate. The developer proposes to make southbound Katherine its secondary access to fulfill the county safety requirements. In other words, an emergency exit. The proposal is a delusion. Look at this gate. If this were a theater or similar, the building codes would require the builder to place emergency exit at opposite ends of the building. The builder here, Colton Lee, that is, expects us to believe that anyone exiting their proposed development site from the right side of this gate and turns north is using the primary exit, and anyone who exits this development from the left side of the gate and turns south is using the secondary exit. Imagine now a situation where a wildfire has once again breached the pass and is heading for the Knolls. Meanwhile, hundreds of cars trying to flee the fire have gridlocked northbound Katherine. Now imagine yourself in your car with your family next in line at this gate. Do you turn south into the oncoming fire, or do you turn north and join the gridlock trying to escape? Would you wonder at that point why the developer didn't put the secondary exit at the western end of the development in the completely opposite direction of the coming catastrophe? Would you wonder too why the Ventura County Planning Commission didn't enforce the county guidelines to do so? Katherine Road is not now, nor can ever be, a secondary exit. Widening one road will not turn it into two roads. And sadly, we have to conclude that the developer's proposal to widen Katherine to make a secondary exit for its development is a sham. The Colton Lee proposal to widen Katherine Road in order to create the illusion of a secondary access so that its high-density development can win county approval is a sham. The Katherine Road widening will kill dozens of ancient oak trees along with a few not-so-venerable trees. It will destroy property lines and parking spaces. It will obliterate fences and yards that are too close to the widened road. It will turn your neighborhood into a construction zone nightmare for months while the bulldozers ravage the roadbed, and your Knolls neighborhood will be destroyed forever. And even after it is widened, it will still fall short of the Ventura County Fire Department's desired minimum width for a road of that type. Don't let this happen. Add your voice to our outrage. Join the fight. Join the Susanna Knolls Homeowners Association. Make your voice be heard. Write to the Ventura County Board of Supervisors. Write to the Planning Commission. Be prepared to come to the Planning Commission meeting next month on this subject. And remember,